أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وقال الله تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. All praises and thanks to Almighty Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, the cherisher and the sustainer of the words. May the peace and blessing of Allah be upon the seal of messengership, Muhammad ibn Abdullah, his household, his companions, and all those who follow in their footsteps unto their judgment. It is Friday, the 25th of June, 2021, corresponding to the 18th, corresponding to the 15th of Dhul Qa'dah 1442 AH. I hope we are all well. I hope we are all in good form. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has preserved our lives up to now, who has protected us, who has safeguarded us, who has made us continue to be on the right track of Al-Islam. We thank Allah for this ni'mah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to guide us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to make our feet firm on the path of felicity and Islam. I hope you are all in good form. I hope you are all doing well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to shower His infinite mercies on our respective household. Amen. So you are welcome once again to our multimedia platform, Truth Prevails TV. It's time for us to bring you yet another episode of our weekly program, The Friday Reminder. Bidnillahi ta'ala, in tonight's program, we are looking at a new topic titled Leadership in Islam. Leadership in Islam. We want to look at the leadership from an Islamic perspective. What does leadership entail? What does leadership entail from an Islamic view? So as Muslims, how do we approach this concept of leadership? What does Allah and His Messenger Muhammad Sallallahu what does Allah expected of leaders? How does a leader is expected to lead his the led, the people that are led, the people the followers, his subjects? What's the responsibility of a leader? How do we approach this concept of leadership in Islam? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Rasulullah sallallahu was reported to have said in a very, very famous hadith that Sayyidul Qawmi Adimuhu. Sayyidul Qawmi Adimuhu. This hadith translates to that the leader or the master of a people is their servant. Sayyidul Qawmi Hadimuhu. The leader of a people is their servant. This is an Islamic view, an Islamic perspective of leadership. Rasulullah said that the leader of a people is their servant. So, looking at this critically, we come to the conclusion that a leader is expected to be servant of a people. A leader is expected to be a servant of a people. Because one thing we have to understand, brothers and sisters, is that the teaching of Islam as a divine ideology, Islam as a divine way of life, Islam as a religion with its own set of rules, norms, and values. Islam as a complete package. Islam is a complete package, a divine religion from Allah as a way of life. So the actions and practices of Muslims are different things. A Muslim may not follow the teaching of Islam. Likewise, a leader of a Muslim community may not follow the teaching of Islam. So, adherence to the religion of Islam is, human being, Muslims can use their discretion, can use their free will, can practice Islam out of their own volition. Because we are given free will, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala endowed human being with free will. Am I going to call it an endowment? Is it a kind of blessing? This is the reason why Allah is going to judge us on the day of judgment. Because we are given free will. We are different species. We are the vigilant of Allah. Allah says that He's going to put a vigilance on this planet to act on His behalf, to do His wishes, to do the will of Allah on this planet. That's our primary purpose. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, He has never created us, men and jinn, except that we should worship Him. Allah has created us to worship Him alone. We are created as a vigilant to worship Allah on this planet. So we have free will, we have ability to make decisions, to decide what we want to do in life. So we shouldn't be surprised when we look around into this world and we see so many leaders, so many so-called Muslim leaders, and they are not acting in accordance to the teaching of Islam, nor they are acting in accordance to the teaching and sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the seal of all messengers. Because if you look at this saying by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Sayyidul Qawmi Adimuhu, the leader of the people is their servant. Can you count how many leaders in Muslim world today that act like a servant to his people? Can you count any leader? For me, on top of my head, I struggle to find one that I can even say this is a servant leader. This is a servant leader. And this is the philosophy of Islam. Leadership in Islam should be guided by this philosophy, by this saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the leader should be a servant of the people, should be a servant of the people. They have this idea in the Western world as well, that servant leadership. This is gotten from the saying of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, This is gotten from the saying of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. This idea that we have in the Western world, that they say, you have to act like a servant leader. This is gotten from the saying of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that servant leadership. The idea of a leader becoming a servant, not acting in a dictatorial manner, not acting in an autocratic manner, not acting in a subjugating manner, in a repressive manner, in an oppressive manner, in a repressive manner, is gotten from the saying of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that a leader, every leader, should be a servant of his people. You are there to serve the people. You are not there to subjugate the people. You are not there to serve yourself. You are not there to oppress the people. You are not there to oppress the people. You are not there to repress the people. You are not there to become a dictator, to become an autocratic leader. You are there to serve the people, to serve their interests. That's why Rasulullah also told us that the leadership, we should not vie for leadership position. A true believer, you must not vie for the leadership position. You must not make a leadership position a do or die affair. You should not put yourself forward that you want to be the leader. You are the one that want to be the leader. Even in Islam, somebody that puts himself forward to be the leader should not be made leader. That is the philosophy in Islam. That's the principle in Islam. Somebody that puts himself forward should not be made leader in Islam. If you put your name forward that you are the one that want to be the leader, such a person should not be made leader in Islam. It should not be made the leader in Islam. So we have this idea. So leadership is guided by this idea of servant leadership. According to this saying of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, that Sayyidul Qawmi Adimuhu. Sayyidul Qawmi Adimuhu. The leader of a people is their servant. So a true leader in Islam should be guided by this saying. You have to be a servant of the people. You should not dictate to the people. You should not become an autocratic leader. You should not make sure that all the time you want to make sure that it's your own will that is done. It's your own, your own wishes are carried out all the time. People are now allowed to express themselves. People are not allowed to have a contrary opinion in religious matters or even all other matters, that guided Muslim community. So true leadership should be guided by this. You have to be servant leader. A true leader should be a servant leader in Islam. So this is one thing that is extremely important. Because if you are truly following the saying of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, or we are not just paying lip service, eye service to this way of life. And Allah knows our intention. Allah knows our intention. Innamal a'maluhu binniyah. As reported in that hadith by Umar ibn al-Khattab, that very famous hadith. Innamal a'maluhu binniyah. Every deed, every action shall be judged according to the intention. That whoever, in that hadith said that whoever migrates for the purpose of looking for a beautiful woman to marry, Allah will reward him in accordance to his intention. In accordance to his intention. According to his intention, Allah will reward him according to that. If your purpose of migrating to another land is to find a beautiful woman to marry, Allah will reward you according to that. If your purpose for becoming an imam, for becoming a leader, for becoming the president, for becoming the prime minister, for becoming the governor, for becoming the chairman, for becoming the councillor, is to oppress the people, is to subjugate the people, is to repress the people, is to suppress the people, is to become corrupt, It's for selfish gains. It's for selfish motives. You shall be rewarded according to your intention. And that's a false intention. If your intention is to control the people in an un-Islamic way by not becoming their servant, because Rasulullah says, say to the Qawmi Adimu, a true leader, is a servant of their people. If you are truly following the saying of Rasulullah, any leader in any Muslim society, in any Muslim community, in any Muslim nation, in any Muslim country, should be their servant, should serve the people, should not become oppressor. So it's very, very worrying, and it's very sad to see nowadays in Muslim world, in Muslim countries, that the leaders are very, very repressive and very, very autocratic in nature. They are not serving, they are not servant at all. They cannot be questioned. They cannot be questioned. If they are questioned, they silence you. You are silenced. Anybody that questions their authority, their decisions, that person is silenced and is dealt with brutally. Where are they getting this from? Where are they getting this from? That's why Rasulullah severely warned us that we should not make leadership position a do or die affair. We should not vie for it. We should not put our name forward. We should not put ourselves forward to be a leader. This is the true way of appointing a leader in Islam. People should appoint their prospective leader. People should appoint their potential leader. They should be appointed by the people, by the people. We have a shura, a selected committee that are rightly guided, should appoint the leader in every Muslim society. Although in this modern world, it is very hard to find that, for that to happen in reality. But even in this world of democratic world, because in the modern world is a democratic setting. We are in a democratic setting. And we have to face the reality. This is the reality. But we have to Islamize our democracy. If we are practicing democracy, I will not go against democracy, because this is the reality of the modern world. This is how we can be governed, and you can be recognized by the international community in this modern world. But what we have to do as a true believer is to Islamize our democracy. Is to apply the philosophies, is to apply the principles, is to apply the teaching of Islam in our democracy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us wisdom. It's all about having good wisdom and good knowledge of Islam, and having a good grasp of Islam, or what Islam is all about. If you are blessed with the understanding of Islam, you'll be able to thrive even in democracy. You'll be able to apply Islamic principles. You'll be able to apply Islamic teachings in democracy. And you can become, being a democracy does not say, being a Democrat, for example, as a Muslim Democrat does not mean that then you become dictator. Does not mean you should become autocratic person. Even so many Muslim countries that are practicing monarchy, they are practicing monarchy. Saudi Arabia, for example, is a monarchical government. They are still practicing monarchy. That does not mean as a monarch, then you should become autocratic. You should become dictator. You should become repressive. You should become suppressive. That does not mean you should do that. That does not mean you should do that. You should apply the teachings of Islam. You should follow the example of Rasulullah. You should follow the example of the Khilafah Rashidun, the four guided caliphs. That the four successive leaders that came, that succeeded Rasulullah. You should follow in their example. Use Umar ibn Khattab, to be your role model. Use Umar ibn Khattab Umar ibn al-Khattab to be your role model, a perfect example, a perfect role model, apart from Rasulullah when it comes to administration and management of Muslim nation, when it comes to making sure that you have good justice system in place. This is what we have to model our leadership style according to their leadership style. And if you look at the leadership style of Umar, it's a complete servant leadership style. Servant leadership. You are there to serve the people. You are there to become the servant of the people. You have become this is what we have to, that's why it is very sad. It is saddening really to see that, nowadays, some people that are doing some rankings of countries that apply Islamic teachings, and that follow Islamic teachings, and even in their leadership style. And most of the countries on top of this ranking are Western countries. And I will not dispute that ranking as somebody that alhamdulillah, that tries best, that is following the Islam and living in Western world. And most of these countries that are on top of the ranking are Western countries. We need to go back to the basis. We need to go back to the basis. Islam is not something that has to be in book. It's a practical religion. Also, as Allah was reported to have said that I've never been sent except to perfect people's character. He has never been sent but to perfect the character of the people, to perfect how we behave, to perfect how we conduct ourselves. And this does not exclude leadership. It does not exclude leadership. How do we lead the people? What our leadership style? Who is our role model? This is what we have to follow. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for all of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us better understanding of this religion. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us better understanding of religion. May Allah not make us believers that only practice Islam, only provide lip service for this religion. It's all about what we say. We cannot see it in our action. It's about trying to please others, trying to let people see that we practice Islam. It's about we have reduced our religion to physical appearance. We have reduced our religion. We shouldn't reduce our religion. We shouldn't reduce it to physical appearance. Some people, like for example, if you don't wear cap, they might think that you're not really a true believer. You're not true afar, this and that. You're not true sheikh. Wearing cap, for example, is not a yardstick for measuring piety. It's not a yardstick for measuring piety. So that's what Salah was supposed to have said, Atakwa una, pointing to your chest. Atakwa una, that piety, righteousness is here. Pointing to his chest. In other words, righteousness is in your heart. It is how you conduct yourselves. It is how you behave to others. It is what you want. If you truly want for others, what you want for yourself. That is righteousness. It is having fear of Allah in the open and in the secret. It's about being just. We just dealt with justice. Last 2 episodes, we look at justice. This is righteousness. Righteousness is not all the time, or the way you wear your jalamia all the time. Jalamia is good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying wearing jalamia, simplicity It's part of our day. It's good to be simple. It's good to be simple, but we should not mistake simplicity to righteousness. Somebody that was a companion during the time of Rasulullah. Somebody he loved to dress well, to look well, to wear good attires, good clothing, dress nicely, kind of a bit flamboyant, maybe not too flamboyant, but he liked to dress well, and he asked Rasulullah because he was wondering that has he become arrogant because of the way he used to dress. Then he asked Rasulullah sallallahu, am I not be arrogant the way that I dress? Is it arrogance if you dress, flamboyantly or maybe a very fancy dress? Is it arrogance? Rasulullah sallallahu said no. It's not flamboyant. You're not being flamboyant. You're not being extravagant. You're not being arrogant. If you like to dress well, our Allah loves beauty. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves beauty. Allah is beautiful. Inna Allah jamilun wa yuhibbu jamil. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is beautiful, and he loves beauty. He loves beauty. Our deen does not say we should look haggard and we should look horrible. We should look very clean. Inna Allah yuhibbu tawabina wa yuhibbu mutatahhirin. Allah loves people that constantly return to Him, and He loves people that always make themselves clean, that always purify themselves, that purify their heart, they purify their body, they purify their heart. You should be clean outwardly and you should be clean inwardly. You should purify your body. You should make your body clean and you should purify your heart. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves those people. So Rasulullah sallallahu, not to digress too much, said at-taqwa una, that taqwa is in our heart. Taqwa is in our heart. Taqwa is in our heart. It does not lie in our physical appearance. Taqwa does not lie in our physical appearance. So leadership, because this is a topic that I will not finish today. I will not finish it in one episode. Bismillah ta'ala. I hope to conclude this this topic next week, or in the next two episodes, hopefully next week. So this is a very important topic. The key message for this particular episode is the idea of servant leadership. Is the idea of servant leadership. We have to become servant leaders if we truly follow the teaching of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and if you are truly following the sunnah, if you are truly on the path of following the tradition and practices of Rasulullah, the companions, the tabi'in, and the people that saw the companions, the tabi'in, and the people that saw those who saw the companions, the people that followed them. If you truly follow their example, you have to follow their footsteps when it comes to leadership as well. idkhulu fi silmi kafa wala tatba'u utuhat shaitan innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. idkhulu fi silmi kafa. Enter into this deen. idkhulu fi silmi kafa. Enter into this deen wholeheartedly. wala tatba'u utuhat shaitan. And don't follow to the whisper of shaitan. Don't follow the way of shaitan. Don't follow the shaitan will always come to us and whisper to us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us victory over shaitan. It's a lifetime battle. Our battle with shaitan is a lifetime one. Shaitan will not leave us alone until we breathe our last breath. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make you and I to defeat him. It's only when we die that we can say that we have defeated shaitan. At the point of our death, what are we doing? Are we still a believer? Till we breathe our last breath. That's when, until we breathe our last breath, that's when shaitan will depart away from us. We cannot say that we have defeated shaitan while we are still breathing. So nobody is immune from the tricks, from the plots, from the from the whispering, Otowati Shaitan. Nobody is immune from it. Nobody is saved from it. Rasulullah Sallallahu, the best of human beings, was given a special treatment. It was surgically operated. It was spiritually surgically operated for him to be immune from the Khutuwat Shaitan. All other human beings were not given this special privilege. Even the companions, they were not given that special privilege. So they always make sure they are on the right track all the time. They always make sure they read the Quran all the time. They always make sure they wear their tongues with a scarf all the time. They always make sure that they keep good companies, the good companions, people that will remind them about the deen. The people that will not, all the time, dunya. So this is what we can keep us on track. This is what can help us to be on the right track at all times. This is what can help us to be on the right track at all times. So, brothers and sisters, the key message on this particular episode about the leadership, the leadership in Islam, is that we should become servant leaders. We have to imbibe this prophetic saying. We have to internalize it into our lives as true believers. For us to claim that we are true believers, we have to internalize and put into practice this saying of Rasulullah Sallallahu that Sayyidul Qawmi Adimuhu. The leader of the people is the servant. We have to internalize it and put it into practice. We have to practically demonstrate it in the way we conduct ourselves, when we find ourselves in the position of leader, when we are the leader of a community, when we are the leader of a society, when we are the leader of a nation, when we are the imam, when we are the amir, when we are the president, when we are the governor, when we are the senator, when we are the chairman, when we are the councillor. Any leadership position we find ourselves, we have to see ourselves the servant of the people. It is very disheartening and very sad and very worrying that nowadays people see position of leader as opportunity to subjugate the people, as opportunity to repress the people, as opportunity to oppress the people, as opportunity to lose the treasury, to lose the national treasury, as opportunity to become very corrupt, as opportunity to amass wealth in an un-Islamic way, and opportunity to amass wealth in an haram way. And we know that any earnings that we earn from haram means not from our own sweat, stealing from the national treasury, that will not be barakah. It will be cut off from barakah. It will be cut off from barakah. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us better understanding of the role of a leader, what it means to be a leader, leadership, what it actually entails, what leadership actually entails in Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us ability to put into practice, to be a good servant leader. This is the key message of this particular episode, to be a servant leader. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the ability to do that. أقول قولي هذا أستغفر الله ولكم إن الله غفور رحيم. I've said this little reminder. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive any mistake that I make in the process of delivering this talk. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mistake is for me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala condone it for me. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be merciful towards me and every one of us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be merciful towards us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us and give us the right understanding of this religion. The key to success, brothers and sisters, to be a true believer till we die, till we breathe our last breath, is to have a good grasp of this religion. A lot of people are confused. We have to have a good, true understanding of the religion. If you have a good understanding of what Islam really stands for, you will live a very peaceful life. You will live a very peaceful life, and you'll be able to be a good believer. You'll be able to work with your Muslim brothers very well, and you'll be able to work with non-Muslims as well. You'll be able to have a good, balanced understanding of religion. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala endow you and I with this good understanding of Islam. Ameen. So we like to see whether we have a comment. And before I draw the curtain completely, I will just put up the topic on the screen as well. We haven't put it up since the start of the program. We just put it up before I call it a night on tonight's program. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has made it possible for us to bring this program to you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to make it easy for us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to make it possible for us to continue with this program as long as possible. This is the purpose of life. وَمَا عَلَقْتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونِ وَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَ تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. And remind them, for indeed reminder benefits the believers. Mine just to remind one another, to remind you, to remind myself, this is what I'm doing, this is what this program is all about. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continue to make it easy for us. Ameen. So in the meantime, we'll try to see if you have any comment. There's not been any comment. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making it possible for us. Bismillah ta'ala, I will join you again. I will come live again. I will bring this program to you again live. Bismillah ta'ala, next Friday. May Allah make it easy. The program might be altered, but I will let you know. We continue to make this. We are by the grace of Allah. We ask Allah to make our affairs easy. We continue to bring our program to you regardless. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it easy for us. Ameen. So inshallah, this is where we are going to draw the curtain on tonight's program. Jazakumullah khairan kathira fi dunya wal akhirah, brothers and sisters, for being part of the program tonight. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept your time for being part of this program, for watching this program, for listening to this program. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it as an act of ibadah for you. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never deny the reward associated with this. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower His infinite mercy upon your respective household. Ameen. So, Bismillah ta'ala, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us hale and healthy. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us protected. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us protected. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be with us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala favor us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our shortcomings and mistakes and shower His rahmah over us all. So I hope to see you again next Friday, Bismillah ta'ala. So I say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Peace.